Chicago, New York, Irvine, Dallas. If you're in any of those cities, I'm coming to you to do the standing comedy. So please go
do the standing comedy.
So please go to fumiabe.com for tickets.
Ages 40 to 55 are the prime earning years.
Okay.
You make the most money.
You have the potential to make the most money because ostensibly by age 40, wherever you are, whatever career you're in, you're at a level where you can make good money.
Yeah.
And where you can also hopefully be in the C-suite or start getting
right.
equity and things of that
Whoa,
nature.
so you gotta take that shit serious. Welcome to Cash Cuties, everybody's favorite personal finance podcast where we talk about money, investments, and how to shave your legs. I am Fumi Abe.
And I'm Stuffy Bake. If you're listening on Apple Pod, fuck, why did I just do that?
Pod.
Okay, do it again.
No,
Sorry.
no, it's funny.
No.
That's so funny.
No, it's not funny.
Okay, well, I'll just edit it so you can just start with, if you're listening to...
Okay, if you're listening on your Apple Pod
Wait,
app...
hold on. Do it.
Now, if you're listening on your Apple Pod app, please leave us a review, hit follow on Spotify, and sub to our YouTube channel for the video version of this podcast. Now, all the links are available in the episode description below.
Please go do all those things. Leave a review. Tell us your favorite episode. It really, really matters. Before we get to our guest today, man, Steffi, it's been a minute. How you been? How's your single ass doing?
It's
financially.
How am I doing financially?
Yeah, how's your single ass doing financially?
Well, just literally, it's ups and downs, like my emotions, roller coasters. As I have been going through a breakup, which also means my credit card is also has its ups and downs and peaks and below peaks.
Can you please explain to me how those two things are correlated? A breakup and high spendings.
I think it's not even high. I think it's because as my emotions are going up and down, my purchases kind of are correlated with that.
So if you're unstable, you spend more?
I think for me, it's peaks. It peaks, and then what's the valleys? Is that what we call it?
When you say you emotionally peak, what does that mean?
So I think that it's not that I necessarily spend more on objects. I think it's a lot of my food intake has changed.
Okay.
So I'm obviously buying more food.
Why?
Because when I was dating someone, they
would pay for you.
They would pay for a part of a meal. So there's that. But then when you're also single, you're going out more, socializing more with friends. You're not doing it with just the one person where you could maybe cook food and do these. Dude. You have to go out. For me, when I feel like I have to go out and socialize so that I'm not in my head at home.
I have an idea for something.
What?
I would love to do an analysis of you give me one credit card spends during your relationship, and then you give me one from when you're single.
Oh,
and we look at the differences.
Yep, that's a fun little game for you, isn't it? That's a fun game. Yeah. Use my love life and my
content.
Yeah, for content.
But you obviously have some self-awareness because you're talking about it. How do you feel about it? Do you feel guilty? Are you okay with it? Is it a phase, so you're not even thinking about it?
It's a phase, but also I think that whatever it takes to make you feel better during these times, I think I owe it to myself.
So you really are emotionally you need these purchases.
No, I don't
because you should be doing okay to me, but I don't.
Yeah, no, I'm also living my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like this is the most stable I've been going through a breakup, but I think I'm stable emotionally because I'm in a place where I think I feel comfortable in myself, and I'm allowing myself to kind of cry it out when I want to. When before therapy and I was going through breakups, when I first started, I didn't know what to do with my emotions. So I would just repress it, and I would do some crazy, I would just go off the wall, and people tend to what do you call it? Rebound date and do all that stuff.
Rebound date?
Have rebounds after a breakup.
Oh yes,
to be healthy. Yeah. I'm not doing that. I'm really just focusing on myself. And
but focusing on yourself equals a lot of money.
Well, no, not necessarily. I don't mean when I'm spending money, I'm not saying I'm going crazy on spending. I'm saying I will buy things for myself that maybe I didn't need, but they're not I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on it. It's I'll go get a fucking sprinkles cupcake
Mm-hmm.
and spend $6 on it at like 8:55 p.m. Do you know?
No, buying a cake at 8:55 p.m. is a very single girly move for sure.
Yeah, but I don't think I do stuff like that when I'm
No, of course not.
dating or
Because
I mean, when I'm dating
right.
with someone,
No, I think when you're like in love or have somebody, you don't crave cake at 9 p.m. You know, so that's okay. That's okay. I think
Yeah,
there's
right.
you know, there's girl math and there's also girls,
Yeah.
single girl spendings,
Yes.
single girl spending habits.
Yeah.
And we love to embrace that here on
Right.
Cash Cuties.
But it's not like I necessarily eat more dessert when I'm like, it's just the way I do it feels different. And I haven't analyzed it enough for me to be able to like speak on it. This is kind of early, but I think that I'm allowing myself to do the things I want a little bit more because it's like, I'm just allowing it. I'm not speaking my way out of it because I'm like, I'm owed this space for myself to like indulge in myself.
That's good.
And you know how I am? Like, I may seem like someone who spends and like is crazy, but I don't. I'm a bit calculated when it comes to purchasing things. And even if it is emotional purchases, there might be this element that's like, how is it healthy for me?
Right. And you're not gonna let it get out of control. You're not getting that cake every night. You're not.
Yesterday, I went to Whole Foods at 8:10
That's
p.m.
okay.
my local.
That's okay.
I like that you're like, it's okay, Steffi.
But it depends on what you got though.
Oh my God, have you had the tres leches?
Oh, you go to the cake section? I love the cake section at Whole Foods, dude. I'm out of control. When Maria's away, I'll just buy a whole fucking cake, bro.
Oh, so when you're alone, you kind of get like that too?
Yeah. This is interesting. When I'm alone. But I see you're packaging it in a healthy way. You're like, I owe this. I deserve this. But for me, when I'm alone, I tap into my urges. And it's like, if I want cake, I want a drink, I just kind of do it because no one's home. And I'm like, who cares? I don't know.
Wait. So are our partners maybe like a parental figure to us who's like, but keeping us in our heads,
subconsciously, I think so. Because the second she goes away, I'm like, bro, I literally bought like 3 cakes one time. Not in one, like every time she goes on vacation, I buy like a small 12-inch cake at Whole Foods.
When we went to that little, after Tori, we went to go get that little cheesecake.
Yeah.
It was like literally 1 or 2 p.m. and I was really surprised you got. Was your partner here or she was out of town?
Oh, when I say cake, I'm talking about a whole cake. Bro. That's nothing. I just do that. I get a little slice of cake for funsies. I'm talking, I go to the thing and I pretend I'm a dad and I'm like, oh, my daughter's birthday. I fucking do that because I need it.
You're embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed to buy a fucking cake alone.
Wait, how do you eat it? By the way, how are you eating it? Like what is it?
No,
like
I don't just do that.
You...
I'm not a fucking animal. I'll cut it up as if I'm at a birthday party and then I have like 1 slice, at a time, and then I try to eat it before she gets home so she doesn't know. But I tell her anyways.
But she doesn't care. Actually.
No, she doesn't care. But I just think it's like. She cares more from like a health perspective. It's like, dude, you're 33. You cannot be eating.
Oh, so she does
kind
of tell you not to.
Yeah, I mean,
she makes you feel guilty a little bit.
A little bit. I don't feel guilty,
for good reason.
Yeah,
by the way,
around the house, she'll be like,
die.
hey, don't eat too much, or like, don't snack. Like, she says that a lot, and I'm like, it helps me, like, it keeps me in line. But when she's gone, I'm like, eclairs, fucking tiramisu, fucking tres de leche, like fucking.
That'd be so funny if she's doing the same thing when she's out of the house. She's like,
yeah.
oh, thank fucking God. Bring me in his health issues.
God
Give
damn.
me that fucking Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, Cash Cuties, if you're listening, tell us what your guilty purchases are when your partners are away. Is it cake? Is it flowers? Is it...
Flowers is not a guilty purchase.
I don't know. Tell us what it is.
What do you do secretly behind your partner's back?
Yeah.
Just generally. Like, I would love to know because that stuff is... fascinating to me.
So tell us in the comments what you do behind your partner's back financially, and we'll be back with your guests for this week.
See ya. Today's special guest is Complex GM, New York's most eligible bachelor, Cat Daddy, and my homie. Please welcome Donnie Kwak.
Yay!
All right. Wow. Great intro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cat Daddy. Remember that?
I don't even know what that means. Isn't that a dance, Cat Daddy?
It is a dance, but he's also has a really cute cat.
Yeah, I have 2 cats.
Oh, okay. And those are like you just got them off the street or you bought them?
They were
Cat off the street?
I don't know how
no,
animals work.
Cats are rescued off the street, but
Yeah.
they were rescues. Yeah, like a litter of
Kitties.
kittens.
So you had them since they were kitties.
I have. Yeah, they're 5 years old
Oh.
now.
Love that.
Do you think you spoil them?
I do.
In what way? Like you buy them the best food?
I wouldn't say I buy the best food because there is like such a thing as like really premium cat food.
Yeah.
But it's like, how parents will be in a Target or something and see something that they just want to buy for their
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Even if the kid's not with them, just
Yeah.
like, oh, this
Yeah.
is like something that Johnny would like or
Oh,
whatever.
that's really nice.
I do that. Yeah.
But like you feel that even when you're not in a pet store, like when you're just at Whole Foods or something, you're like you see like a nice,
yeah.
nice little
I'll be
tuna.
like, oh, Tony. My cat's names are Tony and Tasha, so I'll be like, oh, Tony might like this.
shit.
Oh.
And grab it.
Oh,
I had a Tony also, but he passed.
nice. Shout out to Tony.
Shout
Rest in
out.
power.
Wait, you had a pet named Tony?
I had a cat named Tony. Growing up, I had 4 cats.
Oh, okay.
They all passed except one. But Tony was one of he's the smartest one. He ran away from home and then came right back the next day.
Okay.
We don't know what he's learned. I always felt like he became, when people are like, he became a man because they go to the military.
He fucked.
He fucking fucked. He's that type. He's
What's
the
that
type.
thing that Amish people do? They like, what's it called? Something Dawn. They like, Amish people, they take a break from their community and they go do drugs.
Yeah,
and have
yeah.
Sex.
I thought you were going to say docking. Isn't that?
Docking is a
well,
sexual.
That's like a sex thing. I forget what
This
it's
is
called.
like-
Rammstein or something. Have you
Or
heard-
when they all just break free of
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
they
while out.
and
Yeah.
they figure out if they want
Yeah.
to stay in the community. Your cat did that.
My cat
Your cat
did
went out and did fentanyl and then did anal and was like, no, I want to go back to the Korean household. And
The cat did anal.
You know what? I'm happy he got to explore. Like, I always thought that he was incestuous because it was always him and his brother, and they would always hump each other.
that's okay.
And so it's okay. I just wanted him to experience
Other
other than
cats.
his brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
go
yeah,
free.
yeah.
So I'm happy he went after having had experienced and
Yeah.
become this person or this
Okay.
cat. I mean, not person. So
Love that. Love that.
yours are indoor cats, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they're indoor cats. They're
We can't talk about cats for 10 minutes. Okay.
Why? Okay, fine. What's your current job?
I'm a GM at Complex, and when people ask me what that is, it's like GM obviously stands for General Manager.
Hey.
So it's a little bit difficult to parse, I guess, or explain. But if you're a sports fan, I kind of look at it. You know what a GM?
Yeah, well, I was going to say this. So Complex Media, right?
Correct.
GM is such a funny title because in the office world, you don't really hear that. You know,
Yeah.
people
Well,
are like,
actually, you'd be surprised. I mean,
Really?
in corporate settings,
I
for
think so.
brands, for restaurants, there's a
well,
GM.
restaurants for sure, but
Yeah.
like, I guess I don't really know. I've never worked in media specifically, but like, in my past is like in advertising and like in comedy and stuff, you don't really hear like GM, whatever. But I thought it was cool because it did remind me of like basketball team owners and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I look at the job, is that you're kind of working with talented people and figuring out how to deploy them in the best way to win.
Yeah. And you sort of always been.
I was like, deploy. What does that even? Is that like
That's like
when
an army word.
Is that like when you poach?
No, it's when you
deploy
send.
like
When you send.
Push it, sending.
tactically, like how many people do we need to do this thing, and are these the right people for that, and that sort of thing. So
What is so like from our perspective, Complex? When I hear Complex, I think of like sneaker content and like old Disa Samero kind of thing.
Hip hop.
Hip hop stuff. Like what areas are Complex like they got their hands in, and like what's their most like sort of lucrative channels and stuff? Is it really just sneaker stuff? Is that what you guys are known for?
Well, I mean, I don't know how deep you want to go, but
Top level.
Top level. I would say that Complex, when it started as a print magazine, it was premised on this idea of convergence culture, which is basically that sneakers, style, music, pop culture, sports, like these topics overlap, and kind of the idea of Complex is building community around these shared interests and the overlapping of them, as opposed to the identity boxes of race or gender or sexual orientation. So people that are really into sneakers might also be into rap, into video games, etc. There's all these kinds of intersections. That's convergence culture. So
That's dope.
So that's kind of the general ethos.
I'm just trying to be cool.
Why do I feel like
I know. I feel like when you
cool.
said dope, that was
Yeah,
like
that's the first time I ever said
You're
that.
like, that's fresh.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Slaps.
It's lit.
It
No cap.
slaps. Donnie.
there's a lot of these words that have gone out of trend. Like, is sneakerhead still in as a word?
Yeah, people still use it. You know, I think it's just for lack of better
We don't know
word.
what else to call these people who like sneakers.
Yeah, it's true. Sneaker enthusiasts.
Okay, I
Shoe
heard.
sluts.
No, but just to finish the point, because
Yes.
for Complex, because I want people to know.
No, of course.
Yeah, that, you know, our content now is like multi-platform. You know, we have our .com, we have social, we have our website. I'm sorry. We have our website, we have our social, we have a YouTube slate. Sneaker Shopping is probably a show that most people know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then obviously ComplexCon experiential. So we reach our audience in all these different
Yeah,
ways.
yeah.
I noticed on TikTok right
Okay,
now
yeah.
that there's this thing going on where you're either a Golden Goose person or an Air Jordan person. Have you been hearing about this? This is like
No.
a thing right now. So it's like you're either a Golden Goose
What is
boy
that?
or girl,
What's a
or-
golden goose?
So the sneakers that are
This-
like beat up, purposefully distressed looking, yeah?
and they're really
okay.
expensive though. They look like shit, but
Are they expensive sneakers that are beat up on purpose?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like I remember like 5-6 years ago they were popular because like wealthy people I felt like were wearing them. It's like the Gwyneth Paltrows were wearing dirty shoes, right?
It's not a brand. It's
it's a brand.
It is a brand.
Oh, it's a brand. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Golden Goose versus Air Jordan.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a thing. What do you think of Golden Goose?
You know, I don't
Oh,
want
these are
to.
fucking ugly as
yeah.
hell,
I don't
bro.
know.
What the hell?
How much is that one?
$5.95.
$5.95.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
Jordan ones are kind of expensive.
Yeah,
no?
well, I mean, I think that's the dichotomy is interesting, right? Because it's like people who go for that kind of look. It's a fashiony look, and it's sort of like an affected apathy because it's expensive. It's like buying jeans with holes in it,
Yeah.
as opposed to Jordans, which are meant to be pristine. and,
Right,
like,
right.
Sort of
And
flaunted.
you would call yourself like you're like well versed in the sneaker culture, right? You like sneakers.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I'm not, you know, there's people on the staff. Joe LaPuma, who's the host of Sneaker Shopping, is like a sneaker encyclopedia. I'm nowhere near his level.
Right. But you're a fan. You like shoes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, what are you? What are your shoes?
I'm wearing North Faces. I don't want to talk about it.
North Face shoes.
he doesn't want to talk about it.
You know what it is. I try to get what is that brand? Solomon,
Yeah.
the XT6.
Hot. They're popping.
I know, but I can't get the color that I want, and I only want the one called like Rainy Vibe or something. It's like orange and silver.
You've looked on like StockX.
Well,
and
now
Grail.
they're on stock, but I should have bought it a year ago. It was on StockX last year for like $100 more, and I was like, because I think market price is like $160, and they were selling it for like $240. Now they're like $3 something, and I'm like, I don't know if I can buy that.
It's just so sneakers are so freaking weird because they're all probably made like around the same price to make it. It's just like how cool they are or how like popular they are.
It's like crypto in that
It's just the
way.
marketing,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
And
I don't
it's
know if you have any thoughts about like
It's not like crypto though, because there is like a tangible
right,
thing.
sure.
and,
I mean, what do you think about the finances of like the sneaker culture? People dropping
people spending
500
thousands of dollars.
and by people a lot of times I mean teenagers. Dropping a lot of money on whatever Jordan 13s or whatever
Yeah.
the hell it is.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of things, that industry is, it's been affected by kind of macroeconomic conditions. So I think it's going down a little bit. I mean, it was really booming a few years ago and through COVID. What do I feel about teenagers spending their money on expensive sneakers that they maybe can't afford? It's obviously keeps our engine running, So
Yeah, that's how you get your job.
Is it fiscally responsible? Maybe not, but I mean, kids are going to collect something,
Yeah.
And there's, whether it's, some kind of
Pogs.
material, some kind of material item to represent themselves and to, stand out. So
I guess that versus like a pair of sneakers versus because they're useful, but like Pokemon cards.
It's the same shit, I guess.
But you can't utilize it. Like the sneaker, unless you're keeping the sneakers somewhere in a box.
Because a lot of people do keep it in the box, right? Isn't that
they're
the whole
more
thing?
like just flipping it.
I don't know
right?
much about Pokemon, but
No, not Pokemon, but like shoes. They'll,
Oh,
like, a lot of
shoes. Oh, yeah,
people, they'll buy it and they'll just
stash it. But the reselling market is crazy, so like there
Yeah.
are kids that are making money, out of a business hustling sneakers.
What's the most expensive shoes you've bought, and how much have you spent
On sneakers?
on sneakers?
Like total life?
just in your whole life, yeah.
Fuck. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, this is a Christian podcast. We actually prefer if you didn't.
People who know me well know I'm pretty frugal. So
We did see that in
We
your
noticed
credit card
that.
statement, which we'll get into later.
yeah. So it took a long. I don't really impulse buy expensive things. So there was a pair of Dunks that I wanted when Dunks were kind of really heating up. Yes, I follow trends, and it was a Brazil Dunk.
Ooh, brasilero.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was a Steffi Dunk.
I approve of this one. So how much were they, and when was this?
I'm gonna Google this.
So they were green and yellow. I bought them in maybe a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I paid StockX because, you know, they upcharge and there's they take a cut. I think I probably paid like between $350 and $400.
That's
wow.
Now they're like
They're less
$230
now.
Yeah. See, the market's going down a little bit.
But that's not even that. I thought you were gonna say
That's
like
not bad at
1,000.
all.
Yeah, but when you think about it, the Dunk retails for what, $100 or less, and it's not exactly the materials. It's not a great material or anything. It's just like a basic shoe.
Right.
So that all that extra money you're paying is just for the hype.
Right.
The rarity.
Did you wear them?
I did. I wore them like a hand. Well, I guess I wore them like, yeah. But it wasn't. It's not like it didn't become a regular rotation shoe. No. So, but I have them.
That's dope. Can I ask your opinion on speaking of like Golden Goose and stuff? I feel like there's a couple shoe brands that's been popular these last couple of years that a lot of white people love.
Solomon.
No, not that. Don't say that. That's my brand. It's
You don't
the
even
one.
have any, bro.
I'm gonna get some. Don't worry about it.
No, but Solomon is actually now a hype brand.
Well, that's what I'm supposed to say. It changed, and the reason why I'm wearing North Face is because I feel like hiking shoes are kind of like hype beast.
Gorpcore, yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So the two brands I'm talking about is Allbirds, and there's one that has like a V on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Vina or Vine.
Yeah, I know
It's
what
a
you're
V. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what the.
I don't
Both
remember
of
the
those
name.
are a bit whack though.
They have
okay,
VEJA.
VEJA, and it's interesting because in the way that Jordans are popular among high schoolers in certain areas, like those two brands, like every basic white dude has it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys ever cover that kind of shit in Complex, either ironically or seriously. Like,
Yeah, more ironically, I think generally we don't try to yuck anyone's yum, you know?
Sure,
So, we more are promoting the shoes that we like or the ones that we know are going to get attention. But stuff like Allbirds is not in our wheelhouse, no. Because, our primary audience is youthful.
right,
18 to 34. I mean, I guess like some, late 20s and 30-year-olds wear Allbirds, but it's not a very popular hype shoe.
Mm-hmm. But what about you personally?
Personally, no, it's not for me, but I definitely like Solomon's and Hoka's. New Balance has made a big resurgence in the last 5 years. So some of those shoes were thought of originally as like white people shoes or maybe like shoes for squares or hikers or what have you. And again, convergence culture, like now those shoes are relevant to
Being
our
a
audience.
nerd or having a hobby is hot right now. So I feel like that's why that's gotten kind of popular. Is like the hiking shoe, like doing all these things that people are like
Having
actively
a hobby is hot.
having a hobby.
Any hobby? Even the
Any-
Prius?
Is there
The
such a
Prius is-
person that doesn't have a hobby?
I think a lot of people don't have hobbies.
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of people, but we're not in that type of industry. That's why we're
Well,
in like a
do
place
you have a
where
hobby? I don't think I have
Do
a
you
hobby.
consider like playing video games a hobby?
Yeah, I think so.
But if you're really into it, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so.
Oh, so it can't just be that you do it or dabble in it. To be a hobby, you have to be kind of committed to it.
I think it's something. I think I would consider it a hobby if someone's like, "Hey, what do you like to do?" and you have like thoughts.
And what
on
are
it.
your hobbies?
See, that's the problem. I do a ton of comedy. I don't think I have.
think that's your hobby. I think he's made his hobby into a job.
But that's sad,
No, it's not. Why?
I don't know. I think it's weird that your
means you
job
like-
is your hobby. I don't know. I mean, I watch a shit ton of anime. I guess that
It's
could
your
be it,
jobby.
Yeah, anime. I mean, watching anime, I guess. Could be a
But like I watch a lot of it, and I have a lot of thoughts about it. So I guess maybe that. But I
He
try not
watches
to,
a lot of porn too, so that's also a hobby,
All right.
and so is
All
going to
right.
strip clubs.
Okay.
Do you really? How did?
Do I watch porn?
Yeah.
Yeah, Donnie, I'm a man. Do you not
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
porn? You do fucking cool for porn, my guy? The hell is this? Who the fuck is this guy? You bring this guy?
Yeah, what are you
Judge
acting
him.
like you don't fucking watch? He's like, yeah, okay. So I want to kind of go into like ComplexCon, which is coming up for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot to do with it? Like, are you part of like the process of the
Putting it together?
Yeah.
So I would say in my role for Complex as GM, it's kind of a steward of the brand. And so wherever the brand shows up, having an opinion about it to make sure that it shows up the right way.
I didn't know what ComplexCon was. I'm so sorry. It's like a festival with events and brands and music.
Yeah, it's a 2-day thing. It's done annually in November in Long Beach, and it's kind of where brands, creatives, artists convergence culture,
We love
collaborate. And you obviously can buy a lot of stuff. There's a lot of drops there. There's musical performances. There's panels. So we could consider it like the Super Bowl of culture.
Well, we were talking about how tickets to ComplexCon can be quite expensive. I don't know. Did you pay for it last year or no?
No.
You got it for free.
Thank you.
How much did it go? How much is it going for?
You would have to look on the site. I mean, it's tiered. So there's like 2-day, 1-day, and then there's like a VIP. So
I saw the VIP was $700.
Shit.
That's fancy. And then I saw a crew pack for 2-day general admissions. You have to buy 4 tickets. Minimum is $188
just for
each.
admission.
Yeah, plus ship.
What are your thoughts on that? Would you like? Do you like paying for like? Do you feel like that's a
no?
fair?
Are you kidding? I personally.
That's a lot to pay to go to an event to buy more stuff.
Well, I'm a girl. I'm a model in LA. Like and we also have friends in the industry, so it's like everyone always kind of like if you're like spoiled in that way, it's hard to like when you notice that number, you're so grateful for being able to like even experience it. It's like hard for me to be like, I'm going to spend this much money. But if I was really into sneakers and I really was into this cactus brand and like, then I would probably I would definitely pay for it and go.
What you just said is interesting though, because you are paying for the opportunity to pay for more things.
Yeah.
So it is, but it's the fact that all those brands are gathered there, and a lot of them make exclusive product just for ComplexCon. So if you are a streetwear or sneaker enthusiast, it's like your paradise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not shitting on it. I mean, obviously,
no.
it sells out all the time because people are happy with the experience and right. Like, I think
it's a valid question. It's like you're paying also for the experience.
I think it's worth it because it's like it's
chaotic, but it's fun.
chaotic, but it's also there's so many artists that go to this, like big artists who go to this to buy sneakers or just to be even like almost seen.
Totally.
I would say
People dress up.
People dress
not
up.
Dress
as
up.
As what?
Not cosplay dress up, but like dress up. I
Naruto
might wear
for some
my
reason.
Brazil dunks or that sort of thing.
People try to show off their.
Like musicians, like artists are there. So it's a place for people to be seen with them, take pictures, meet like favorite artists.
They're just like walking around.
Yeah, G-Dragon came last year.
Yeah.
Kanye came the last day.
Just walking around.
Oh,
Oh, that's interesting.
Imagine
that's
if you saw Kanye, like you got to experience that.
The Kanye visit was very chaotic. It was probably,
sure. I mean, that's actually probably in a way detrimental to the event.
It was a little bit. It was a little bit because of the security issues and just obviously what he, where he is in culture right now.
I mean, he's the guy. Yeah.
It's a scene though. I kind of want to ask you a little bit about now, like going more into your finances, like as a Korean, American. Where did you grow up?
In Maryland, in Montgomery County, Maryland.
Okay, Montgomery. What did your family teach you about money? Was there like one thing that really stood out? Like for me, my mom was very much about being frugal, like keeping the money that we had. Like that was like very much like something that was ingrained in me, and I'm not supposed to spend anything just how I want to. So
my dad originally came to the U.S. To do radio.
Oh, okay.
For Voice of America. So he was a Korean radio broadcaster.
Oh, cool.
And so initially he was only meant to be here for a few months, and then, one thing happened after another and he stayed.
Whoa. So he was like is that like journalism almost?
He's already in the same field you're in.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So was he excited because I was, we're doing research on you and we pull up your LinkedIn and like, you worked at like Complex and The Ringer. You've sort of always been in that media space.
Yeah.
Which is honestly like kind of
cool.
Rare, I guess.
That's very
not
rare.
rare, but like, I don't know. Like, obviously, if you go to NYU, I went there too. It's like all the Asian kids are like,
oh yeah, you went to NYU.
I did, but I wasn't. I didn't go to.
Did you graduate?
Yeah.
What year?
2012.
Oh, 2012.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we overlap at all?
I graduated in 1998.
What, for real?
Yeah.
God, I thought you were like 3 years older than me. This is crazy.
He looks. He's
a hot zaddy.
No.
This explains this is why you're so successful. So that's great.
No, but what you're saying, I think, is I'm kind of a little bit of a remnant of an older generation, maybe too, where I didn't, I kind of majored in what I majored in, which is journalism, and then I kind of was bent on sticking with that career path. And so
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. I was like surprised because like I feel like people our age, they have like such like that ADHD mentality or something. Like they're jumping around in different.
I think it's good too, though, to be that way.
I think it is, but I feel like it's really cool that you kind of like stay. But we also noticed that you worked there a while ago and then you came back like multiple times.
Did you get like poached? Is that what happened? Because you was like complex ringer. You know what I mean? It was sort of like
yeah. I boomeranged twice. I think. I mean, ultimately, just candidly, I think when you work a long time at one company, which I did at Complex with my first stint, 7 years. Unfortunately, and this is not just Complex, but for a lot of companies, you have to leave to get a bump, a significant bump in salary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, although I didn't necessarily really want to leave, I left for ESPN, which I was always interested in sports, but the amount of salary bump I got, I would have never gotten it. I would have to work another 10 years. Yeah. It was like literally 60% more.
And then when you come back, you can ask for more money.
Exactly.
On top of,
then you set your floor.
I do want to talk about this.
You have to play a game almost.
Yes. I do want to talk about this thing you just mentioned about how kids hop around. So for example, like my dad's been working at the same company since he was 22.
Which company?
He's an engineer in Japan. You've never heard of it, but that's just the way it was in his generation. People don't really quit.
Yeah.
And I feel like today, everybody, to your point, I think it's okay to hop around to get more money. Hey, get your bread. I totally understand that. But there's almost this attitude in society now where it's like, oh, you gotta piss me off? Well, then I'm leaving. Like there's no
loyalty.
Loyalty is like gone. I think there's no like sort of communication. It's sort of just like if you have a hot resume, you just sort of act like the hot girl at the club and you hop around. I look at some of my friends' LinkedIn and I'm like, 17 companies and you're like 32 years old. How's this possible? You know what I mean? Not 17, you know what I mean? But like just hopping around, constantly hopping around. And I also feel like that's not necessarily a good thing,
I think it's part of the culture. Though.
It is.
It's like commitment, first of all, is just hard for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's bleeding into relationships and stuff like too. I guess.
That completely.
In general, like, but I don't know. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that. As you said, you're a remnant of an older generation. You see that. I'm sure your employees are maybe doing that too now.
Yeah, and I can't fault them for it. I mean, I think we were talking about basketball earlier. It's like a little bit different, obviously, but we're in the player empowerment era, right? Where when we were growing up, or when I was growing up, all the stars stayed with the same team for their whole career. Pros and cons. I mean, for me, I could have not experienced another career path, like I could have missed out on something that I could have been really good at. So the plus side of it is all the experiences I had in journalism culminated now into this very important role for Complex. And I wouldn't have gotten it if I didn't put in all that work all those years. Right. But, I could have done marketing maybe, or law. I don't know. I mean, maybe not law, but other things, like people dabble and then they find something that they really, really like to do that they didn't know.
That's true. They don't. But you seem happy. I guess the point is like you just kind of. But like you don't seem like you regretted it. I mean, you're fucking big man at Complex Media. That's dope. So
no, I don't regret it. I don't regret it, but I don't also fault people for having wayward eyes when it comes to career because. Is your dad happy? I mean, like
he's not happy.
Yeah, the nightmare is to be locked into a job or a company that you can't leave, or you're too scared to leave, but you're just stuck.
I think that's with everything. Nobody wants to feel.
I'm not saying stay at one company forever. I'm just saying like it's just. I think your LinkedIn, even though you hopped twice, that seemed like really conservative compared to what I'm used to looking at today.
Well, I'm a little old school, I think.
I think essentially. It doesn't matter what aspect of life we're talking about. Nobody wants to feel trapped.
Yeah, that's true.
Even if it's like not that your dad can't leave, but he kind of sounds like he's chosen.
Oh, he's trapped. He's 100%
trapped. He's trapped in it, and that's when it feels like shitty. That's when you should leave. But now you're scared because you've been doing this and ruminating in your head about the fact that if you leave, all these things can happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a cultural thing too. I think in Japan for a long time, people didn't like it was looked down upon to leave your job. So that was like a thing.
Tell your dad to go play Hard to Get. That's the thing.
He'll retire and get.
Well, that's the thing is, so he just turned 60, so he told me that they lowered his salary by 20% because he's older and he's less efficient. And I'm like, so you gotta leave? And he's like, no.
Wait, how is he less efficient? Did they choose to say that based on his age?
It's a Japanese thing. It's a Japanese company thing. It's not just his company.
Feels
just like
very ageist.
It's 100% ageist.
Yeah,
like they deem you less efficient, so they pay you less, and then you just get paid less until you retire. It's fucking insane. It's so insane.
Jeez.
Yeah, it sounds kind of ruthlessly efficiency model.
Yeah. I mean, if you compare that to like the American model, where it's like very.
Do you think your dad has like harbors some dreams of how his life could have gone at a different job, or like opening a cafe or being a gardener or something? Do you talk to him about that?
Okay, I know for a fact that when he first started, when he was 22, he did it for like a year.
22 to 60. He's
Yes.
Jesus.
So, because he went to engineering school and he hated it, and this is right when I was born, and he didn't want to do it anymore, and he wanted to work in politics, and so he was studying to be like working in the government. He did it, but then he couldn't like find a job or something, and then he was like, you know what? I already have a kid. Like, I'm just gonna keep doing this. But he gave up at like 25 or so, you know what I mean? He had that conversation with himself at 25, which to me is very young.
Yeah, it is very young.
You can change your career at 35 if you fucking want
Totally.
to, you know?
Well, I
And
feel
so
like
it is sad,
in
yeah.
Japan, it's like you guys, like what I've noticed is like you guys are like the best at the thing that you like, people stay at the restaurant that their grandparents started, and you become the best at that thing. And so it's like generationally, you're supposed to stick to this one thing that you've committed to.
It's like that Jiro dreams of sushi mentality,
Yeah.
where it's like, I get it. If you're the Jiro, I get it. But that guy is miserable.
Mm-hmm.
You watch that documentary, he's not happy. He's such a fucking dick to all of his coworkers, and maybe he makes the bomb ass sushi, but like,
You're like, Jiro, I get it. You're good at sushi.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
it's like, but at what cost? Everybody hates you,
No, I mean, his restaurant's legendary, right? I mean,
Yeah,
he
like,
has a
I think
legacy.
Yeah, but does he have any
You do become
friends?
the
That's what I'm
best.
talking about. Like, yeah, Obama wants to eat there, but like, do people like him? Or people are like, you want to go get a beer, bro? Like,
Right.
are people getting him gifts for his birthday? I don't know. It's just, you think about that sometimes in the, Cash Cuties.
I mean, like,
Cuties.
true kind of like greatness and legacy sometimes is, it's punishing on your rest of your life. So,
You know what? Not to bring it back to basketball, but I guess people said that about like Kobe and Michael Jordan. Like, they were dicks, right? Yeah. You hear about,
But
about
you guys
that?
are down with that.
I don't know.
You
I don't
guys
know.
need people to be the top at their sports game.
I think it's changing now with the younger generation, but for a while, I think Japan really jerked off to the idea of like mastering one fucking thing for years, like just sharpening that one knife for years. When
I mean, commitment is hot. Like
ooh, hot take.
it is. Though. Commitment is hot. Like if you're someone
Jiro's
able
hot.
to, I don't know his face, but what he does
is
sounds
hot.
hot.
Yeah.
And it sounds good on paper, but now it sounds like in real life, energy wise, you don't want that
Yeah.
around.
but you're
you.
saying that's hot, like it's a quality you would find hot in a potential partner?
Yeah, because I feel like as much as I'm committed in certain ways, I think I am somebody who likes to experience a lot of things, and I like to jump around, and I like, for me, when I think of the word fun, it means to not be committed to one specific thing. It means to be a bit floaty, and it means to express yourself, and freedom to me is so for me, who is not like that, I think when I see the other side of it, I'm like, I can't do that, but that's cool. So in that way, whether it's dating
But you
or
said
friends,
hot.
did it give me the little tingles?
Well, I mean, the only reason I was saying
Yeah.
that is because if that does end up being your partner, then it might take a toll on your relationship because that person would be so committed to their thing.
Oh, interesting. I think that if they give me the freedom, but they are focused on whatever thing that they're into, I'm okay with it because they're so passionate about that. That to me seems good. But I also haven't really dated someone that's not like that. Or that's so like that about their work.
I think it's hard to find people today.
It is
like that. It's hard to find like a Jiro of 2023. No one's just like, everybody's a multi-hyphenate. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's like, I'm a sushi chef, but also I make
They're
art.
going
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're going extinct. They're not part of like,
Yeah,
people
it's-
don't want that.
Exactly. It's interesting. You're right. They're like dinosaurs. They are going extinct. Like that mentality is going extinct. And that's kind of interesting. Because
Wow.
I never really thought about it like that. Hey, speaking of commitment, relationships.
Ooh, let's talk a little about
Let's go.
about dating in the Big Apple, honey.
Did you guys watch Ali Wong's third special?
Yeah.
Okay. The whole theme of that is, what is it like to be a successful woman in America? What is it like to be a woman who has a lot of fucking money in America? To put that to you, you know, what is it like to be dating in New York City as like a successful person? Because, and you know, obviously you're not like 25 anymore. You know, I gotta think that that's when you're at a certain level financially and career wise. I gotta think that makes dating a little bit more difficult because you can't be just dating like regular, no, I don't know, like unambitious people or regular people. I don't know. Like, I wonder how that goes for you.
Well, I mean, I would say back to the job thing too. I am a little singularly focused sometimes on work and less so on my personal life. Even like partying or drinking, or, you know, it's not that I'm a monk or anything, but I also, you know, I do consider this period of my life as like, what did my friend call it? The prime earning years.
So what does that mean?
He was telling me, it's a colleague actually, that ages 40 to 55 are the prime earning years.
Okay.
You make the most money.
You have the potential to make the most money because ostensibly by age 40, wherever you are, whatever career you're in, you're at a level where you can make not maybe the most, but good money.
Yeah.
And where you can also hopefully, if this is your desire, be in the C-suite or start getting
right
equity and things of that
Whoa.
nature.
So you gotta take that shit serious, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's just it was his theory. I mean, maybe he read it in a book or something, but it does make sense that 40 to 55 is kind of your prime earning years. And most people 40 to 55 are married with children though. So their prime earning years are based around probably their children's college education or their second home or whatever. I consider these my prime earning year. Wow, I'm really talking a lot about my finances.
This is good. This is good.
This is
good. That's what this pod is about, bro.
Well, I consider my prime earning years to be now. I'm like in the middle of it, and I do feel like these are my prime earning years. And what I'm saving for is not a family per se or children, because I don't have any, and it's not my kitties, even though I love them. It's more just like, you know, I'm in literal middle age, right? So it's like the second half of life. How is that?
What does that mean? Retirement?
Retirement, potentially, or just what I want to do with the second half of my life.
So are you bringing this up because you're saying that affects the way you look at dating?
I think in order to really dating is usually a means to an end, right? Which is like a committed long-term relationship and then eventually a family. And if you're not really on that path or with that in mind, it's more just diversionary or kind of companionship or sex or whatever. So it's difficult in New York, as you guys know, you know?
That prime earning thing he just said made me nervous as hell, bro. I was like, wait,
yeah, because I gotta be the top of the next 6 years. For people with real jobs, it's like this. Ours is like.
Wait, so you graduated in 2012, so you're like 33.
I'm 33 right
33.
Now. Yeah.
So
and I had a career in advertising for a long time, and if I had kept going, sure, I think by the time, you know, I get to that age.
Well, mind you, yeah, the person who told me this prime earning years thing is like a corporate, like a salesperson.
Yes.
So it's like a very corporate way to look at life.
And I am, you know, I have 4 friends from my first job. We all started on the same day. We all went to different colleges, and we became sort of like really close friends. And I remember like about 2-3 years in, I started comedy, and I decided to put my career on the back burner because I was really, really into comedy. And I didn't know where it would go at the time, but I just really liked it. I really liked it, like the way it made me felt. So I just focused on that. And all my 4 friends, now they're like literally working for these huge tech companies. They're making like $300,000. They like, my friend just bought a fucking sports car in LA. He just crashed it. Doesn't give a fuck. You know, he's going to buy another one. I have that video, by the way, if you want to watch it. It's crazy. But like, you know, we're all the same age, and I decided to make that choice. And so now I'm seeing it. And I don't think that I'll necessarily be in that thing you're talking about, the prime earning
No, because you know how we're going to make money is like, we're just going to get millions of dollars one day.
But
like, don't you understand that that's what's going to happen to us?
But I also like don't. I don't know how you feel about this, because, you know, it seemed like you've had like an upward trajectory in career. So it seemed like you never really had to worry about money once you started working. But for me, like, I don't know. I realized that I don't need much. And so like, sure, if I once get $1 million, that would be cool. But if I continue to sort of make a living, being able to pay rent, doing this, whatever the fuck this is, and comedy and these other weird jobs that I have, like, I've just internally decided that that's okay with me, and I'm happy with it. So like, but whenever I do hear about little theories like that, I get a little insecure. I'm
It's
like,
a corporate way to think of it, because honestly, in the entertainment business or in creative industries like you guys are in, it's volatile, which is good and bad. Obviously, sometimes it could dip a lot, but you might be, days, months, years away from like some $1 million, $10 million, $20 million windfall that'll set you up for the rest of your life. Whereas in the corporate structure, it's
consistently.
It's just like 5% raise, incremental bonus, this and that, and it just builds over time as you rise up the ladder.
Yeah. So when you get that $1 million, are you gonna like save, or are you gonna go crazy?
Of course,
you're gonna go crazy.
Oh, I don't know, because that's what happens
I
with
know
the basketball
already what
players,
I'm gonna
bro.
do. I'm gonna invest in real estate. I'm gonna buy some places. I'm gonna rent them out, and I'm going.
Why are you dissociating right now?
No, I'm talking right now, guys.
Your eyes are doing this, bro.
I'm thinking.
But you already know the real estate stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like a skill set
I already
already.
know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna invest most of the money, and it's gonna be most likely in real estate, and then maybe the last 30%. That's where I go crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want it sitting in my bank account. Maybe a certain amount of money, and then I'm gonna take my mom and my friends. Like I've always said, like we're all gonna go to an island and we're all gonna party. Like just have a really nice time. Like I'm just taking everyone on a fucking plane and we're just gonna.
Oh, that's really nice.
Isn't that so fun?
That's fun.
Yeah. So I don't. It's weird because like I just think it's gonna happen. I don't know how. That's the whole point. I don't know how.
I mean,
it'll happen.
I feel like it will.
Yeah,
I think
it
$1
will.
million is not that crazy.
Not $1 million. Yeah.
I mean, if you get the movie, you're gonna get a lot of money.
Yeah. Or show,
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And then one begets the other and begets the other, and it's
everyone
a snowball.
always tells me it's just one.
Yeah.
It takes one.
But then sometimes I think about those people who are like, oh wait, where have you been? Like there's all these guys who are like in a bunch of shows 10 years ago, and I'm like, where the fuck are you now? I hope those guys saved. I think about that all the time.
Oh, a lot of them probably haven't saved.
And I think it's totally okay if that happens to you, as long as you saved. I think with like basketball players too, they play for, I don't know, like LeBron James is playing a long time, but that's just, most players probably leave around like 13, 14 years or whatever the fuck. And like that money's going to last you the rest of your life. And I think a lot of people don't do that, so that's nice that you've...
Steffi, how old are you again, Steffi?
Ooh,
she cannot say. You
can't
cannot ask her this question on this
Sorry.
How dare you?
How dare
I
you?
think I know.
That's the
I think I
one
know.
rule.
You already know.
But anyway, I think like, I see this on Instagram sometimes or like on Twitter, and it's like, like successful people and when they got their break.
Yeah.
And it's basically for old people to not feel so bad about where they are in life, or like not to play that comparison game. And it's like, for some reason, the only name that comes to mind on the list is Vera Wang, but there's a few others, directors.
IKEA. The owner of IKEA, I think, created his thing like when he was in his 50s.
See,
oh, wow.
Yeah,
See,
so
I
it's like
really...
people like 40, 45, 50 even were just toiling away, not had a break. And,
Right.
And it happens, it's cumulative of that.
I think it's funny you use the Mr. IKEA as your like example.
I mean, look at IKEA.
That's true. I don't know why you didn't name like an actor. You're like Mr. IKEA, the guy who invented the Flogen. The fucking
That guy, whoever that is, I don't know. His name is IKEA, but
Dude, I'm picturing him like for years perfecting the Swedish meatball recipe. His pitching it like his tables are really good, but they're like this meatball's ass. And then it was 50 years old when he finally figured it out. We're gonna move on to the unofficial analysis. This is where we look at Big D's credit card statements.
Do people? I was curious. I didn't get to survey all the episodes, but do people usually redact a little bit?
We give them the option, but they never do.
Yeah, because it's like I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah.
But if there's anything that comes up that, No,
I don't think
we didn't see anything weird in there.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw one weird thing.
What was it?
You kept going to this candy store called Bon Bon or something.
Why is it?
Are you into candy? I just think it's funny. You're like...
Are you into candy,
You're like
bro?
this head honcho at Complex Media sneaker guy, ComplexCon, Kanye's coming to my events.
Why are you doing rap hands?
And you're like, but I like candy.
He's
it's
like, but
Swedish candy.
all I want is a Twizzler at
Yeah,
night.
I just imagined you like, I don't know, like the
What
you know
like
what I'm talking
that?
about?
The round big
Yeah,
candy?
he's wearing overalls for some reason in my imagination. What's going on with the
You're
candy?
Picturing me licking. So Bon Bon is like a kind of a fancy-ish Swedish candy store that opened very close to my house somewhere since the time I moved there, which is in the past few years. And if you look at the charges there, it's a by pound. It's like a help yourself thing. And you know how you always get fucked by that because So it ends up being like $18, $20 worth or $16 worth of candy, and it's way overpriced.
But what are you getting? Are you getting the sour or the chocolate?
Yeah, $31 on candy. It's a lot.
This is 3. By the way, he sent us 3 months, so we're talking about the last 3 months.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I've definitely. Do you know how much fucking C's candy I have here?
C's.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's an old Korean lady for you.
Hey, hey,
It's true.
You've aged yourself.
I always have to have C's around.
That's
and they
so
always get
funny.
me with those coupons. It's $5 off of
C's.
$35. And then I'm like, oh, I have to buy $30 worth of chocolate right now. And I will. I'm gonna give you one lollipop, and it's an apple caramel from C's.
Oh yeah.
And I've only given them to people that I like
Well, that's
awesome.
because they're delicious and they're limited edition.
Thank you. Yeah, so the candy it's a mix of sour, sweet. I mean, I guess all candy's sweet. Mostly sour, but mixed in.
You're a
with some
candy
nonsense.
guy.
I am a candy
I
guy.
love that. I was.
Candy store when I was a teenager.
You used to what?
Work in a candy store.
Oh my God.
Wow.
What a sweet little boy.
Did you steal candy?
Yeah, I did, but it was a little, it was like a mom and pop, and me and the owner or the proprietor were cool, and he was pretty laissez-faire about it. It was in a mall, and so that mall had a movie theater, so my friends would come before the movies, and I'd lace them with.
This is interesting because I feel like a lot of Asian immigrants, at least my experience has been that because we had access to like Asian candy, I always really didn't like American candy. I never thought it was good as like a Haichu or whatever was available. But you liked that like American candy stuff like Warheads and all that shit.
I always really loved jelly beans too.
I don't know why that was so funny.
Popcorn flavor? That was
No,
the
like
one, or the
Jelly
pear.
Belly has like tons of
Yeah.
flavors. Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
like
I like the peach and the pear one.
What do you think you spent the most on? Just looking at your categories.
I didn't really look over it too deeply. Probably coffee and food, maybe DoorDash.
Well, I mean,
Yes,
travel was the
definitely.
highest.
Travel, okay,
Right,
yeah, because
like
I went to Korea
flying,
and
hotel.
Thailand.
You had this one insane charge from like Emirates or some shit. You dropped like $1,000
Yeah.
on.
There's airfare.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Thailand.
Oh, is that?
But
I guess yeah.
you
$1,000
probably
makes sense.
purchase like the tickets right before you go. Like you're not. Are you planned? Did you plan that one?
I did, but yeah, I didn't do it in the optimal time to get a cheap flight.
I didn't know Emirates. I've never flown Emirates.
Emirates is the shit.
And then this
best,
other
I
one,
heard.
Air Premier for $2,500.
Yeah, that was to Korea.
Why is it
that,
so expensive?
that one I actually had to buy the day before I left.
Oh,
My
okay,
flight got
okay, okay.
canceled and I was fucked. And Air Premier is actually a new airline that flies only to Korea.
It said hybrid on the website. Is it a hybrid plane? It said first hybrid
What?
airline ever.
Maybe. I also bought like
That's what it said.
the premium seat.
Freedom seat.
They only
yeah.
have, it's not first class, they have premium and then just economy. So,
This is
That's
a personal
nice.
trip. This is not a business trip.
nah, personal.
That's
Yeah,
worth
damn.
it. Though.
$2,500 on Airline. How you feel
That's
about that?
worth it with $2,500 for what?
Just tickets.
I think if it's like you're gonna go see your like if I were to go see my friends and I knew I was gonna have a great time, I would pay for it. I think that you can't really like an experience. I feel like you can't really like
Put a price
put a
tag on it?
price. Yeah, you just kind of like go with it. And I don't know if that was the case for you, but for me, I don't think I would. I think I would pay for
I mean,
it.
when you because you bought it last minute, that's why it was so high. Did as you're clicking, did that hurt you, or are you kind of person who doesn't really care?
It didn't really hurt me. That was a situation where it was under duress, really, because I had to fly the next day and I just needed the ticket, so it didn't really matter how much it cost. But about that kind of thing, though, I would say one thing that is kind of a byproduct, or something that's changed about me as I've gotten older and gotten more money, is that I do pay more for convenience.
Convenience, yes.
Yeah, so
yes.
most people do.
Yeah, because you can't buy time. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Right.
Like valet. Do you guys pay for the valet?
Well, I don't. I'm a street
started doing
parking
that.
king, bro.
Really?
I'm a street
I'm
parking
actually
king,
pretty
bro.
good at it too.
Yeah,
but-
I got this new app where it tells you where you can park and stuff.
Oh, is it called? What is it called?
I don't want to say it on this podcast because
Oh my
I'll tell you later.
Is
though.
it Spot Hero?
It's about Angel.
Angel.
Spot Angel.
Well, why did
Yeah.
you just say it then?
Yeah, it's fine. I just realized it's fine.
There's a few, so
I know. Well, okay. Speaking of parking, you dropped like $900 on parking in 3 months.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't even think about it.
It's really crazy. What's going on with that? I mean, there's some nights.
It is New
I don't know
York.
about Spot Spot Hero is, but
Yeah,
there's sometimes you're dropping like $192, $138, $100.
Yeah. So speaking of convenience, I drive to work.
In New York City.
Yeah, and I don't take the train, even though the train is
Right there.
much more efficient and cheaper way to get there.
Now, why is that?
Because I don't like riding the train,
Ooh.
and I like having my car. So
And you got a Volvo?
I do.
Yeah, we saw that. Is it the electric one?
No. It's a XC40 gas.
Oh, I love that.
But I actually just bought it. Well, speaking of big purchases, I bought that in.
You bought it cash?
I did.
Oh, because I saw like a
Whoa.
payment for like $500 at Volvo. I thought that was like a lease or something like that.
No, I bought it in cash in June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
thank
That's
you.
a big
That's great.
move,
It was.
especially in New York.
That was like.
Well, yeah, driving in New York is crazy.
It is. The big Spot Hero charges are for like week long. Like if I go away to Korea or something, then I put it in a long term lot.
Oh, because you can't do street parking.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I
But
noticed.
$900 on parking is crazy.
Three
That's
months.
a lot.
3 months.
We started.
It's ridiculous. I'm glad that I'm doing this so I can.
Yeah, that's everyone always kind of comes out with something.
It's because it's the fourth biggest thing that you spent your money on. I was like, no one never spends that much on parking.
We have
crazy.
we have a new segment called Hot Buys, where when we're looking through the finances and the statements and we see something that's like,
That we find
oh
hot.
wow, that was hot.
So what was it for
And
you?
so for me, it was the amount you spent on books and your Kindle,
Oh.
and also stationery at genpen.com. That total for the 3 months was $279.13. You spend a lot on your Kindle, and I was.
Yeah, you read a lot. You think you're
You're a
fucking better
big
than us?
Yeah,
What's
I
going
seriously,
on?
I was like, this asshole. Okay.
$280 in books in
But
3
also,
months. That's a lot.
Well,
That's
you
a
know,
lot.
because of the ease of the Kindle and the beauty of it is that you can just instantly download. If you're just even just browsing Amazon and it's like, oh, well, you might like this book.
You're a big reader.
I read. Yeah, I read. I like to read before I go to bed. And you know.
What's the what of all these purchases? What's something you read that you like?
That you would recommend
Because you
to us.
also go to Barnes and Noble. Was there, or do you buy magazines? Are you buying magazines?
No,
or-
I don't really buy magazines.
Yeah, what out of this 280?
What's something? Yeah, what's one thing you were like, that was pretty good?
Maybe you guys will like this book. Maybe you guys will like this book too. It's called Yellowface.
Oh, you like Asian American stuff.
I do.
I went through an Asian American author phase.
I will say this. It's not, I do feel, you know, because of the algorithm and the way recommendations work, it's like you buy one Asian book, they know you're Asian, they're going to feed you every Asian author. And I think,
yeah.
but it's in a good way too, because even if I don't like the book, you feel like you're supporting Asian Americans. So Yellowface actually is a good read. It's fun. It's a satire of kind of the publishing industry. So it's entertaining. You guys will like it.
That's dope. My hot purchase for you is that you pay for ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
You pay for AI.
I do.
And I wanted to ask you, like, are you using it for work? What are you using that extra thing for?
$21.78.
Because it is free, but you pay to have better like algorithms or something.
Well, I think the free version, you kind of have to wait in a queue a lot of times. Like you can't immediately access it. And then also when ChatGPT 4 came out, it was only available to premium members.
Right.
Yeah,
So what are you using it for?
I use it for a lot of things. Like, what do I use it for? I use it for, things that I'm writing. Sometimes I'll run it through and say, can you just assess this for clarity, grammar? When, in my job as an executive now, there's a lot of, I didn't go to business school, so there's a lot of business terms that I don't know. And obviously you can Google it.
Yeah.
But, the Chat GPT kind of cheat is like, explain it to me like I'm in an elementary school or
Yeah.
I was curious about that. Like, I know a lot of my friends who use this for their work.
Yeah.
Now, on a corporate level, do you feel like, because you're a boss to people, right? Like you're someone's, like, if you found out that they were running things through ChatGPT, does it affect how you feel about the work that they've done, or do you feel like it's just like a way to, what's the word? Just edit the work, and so you don't feel. How do you feel about it?
Well, if I was like an English teacher and people were just submitting papers that were fully written by ChatGPT, that's obviously no good. But as like a data point or as like a smarter version of Google where they can get information, I don't mind.
Well, you know what I wanted to ask you? I don't know what you're laughing about.
I don't know either. but
Okay.
it's like-
Because you work in journalism.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you what your take on AI was in regards to like replacing writers and stuff like that in the future. We always just had the writer's strike in LA.
Yeah.
They're talking, and then they figured a lot of it out. Just curious from like what your what your point of view is on that in terms of like AI replacing some of your employees in the future.
The short answer is I don't know, but I'm not. I'm not against it. I'm not necessarily for it. I would say, from a media executive perspective, you're always looking to optimize and make things efficient. But also, we're in the business of serving our audience with factual things and not, So.
Oh, by the way, you have like 60,000 Chase points just sitting in your account.
I know.
You got to use that shit, man. It's giving me anxiety, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing. How do you guys feel about points? Like it's.
We
How do you feel about
what do you mean?
That's my love language. What are you
I'm
talking
stingy
about?
about. You know how like every time you buy something on Amazon, it's like, do you want to use points? And I'm like, I don't want to use it for kitty litter. Like I want to do something.
That's not the most efficient way. The best way is to
flights.
do flights
Yeah.
for
Like,
sure.
but I have the Amazon card, which goes into Amazon. I'm like, so yeah, I'll use it. If I can cover the whole thing, I'll use it.
I've used it for flights before. I find it also annoying to book through Chase.
Really? I like that platform.
Oh,
And also, when you need to change stuff, you can call Chase. And
that's true.
And their customer
You can
service is way
cancel.
better.
Okay, so yeah, no, maybe it is good.
And you can cancel, and they'll just give you credit on that airline. So if they won't give you that money back, but you can
I take
use
it back. Shout out Chase.
Shout out to Chase.
I can't believe you spent $73 on Google YouTube. That's
yeah.
a lot of money.
I know.
What is that?
That's just YouTube TV.
Just
Is
TV,
that
right?
But is it similar to like cable? Because that's the price of like paying for cable, I think.
It is. It's the irony of it all. We did all the cord cutting, and now we're paying just as
You
much,
know,
if not more.
You dropped about $1,000 over 3 months on subscriptions. So that's like Netflix, Prime Video,
Peacock.
yeah, all that shit.
That's crazy.
Oh, and that also includes Google Drive storage too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, $1,000. How do you mean? What do you think of all these numbers before we wrap up here? Anything shocking?
I mean, the parking thing, I probably could have guessed because I know I pay, quite a, parking garages are not cheap,
In New York City, yeah.
but $900 feels, I think I'm going to start taking the train or like making
Try
the
Spot
ferry.
Angel. Try Spot Angel. It's
Spot
a great
Angel?
app. Yeah, it looks in New
I
York
mean, I'm
too.
sure Spot Hero does the same.
I thought, but Spot Hero, it just tells you where you can park
Oh, you mean like on the street?
on the street. He can't even. He's like, I would
No,
never
that's
park on the
hard.
street.
That's too much of the hassle in New York. You can't do that.
Street parking?
Wait, are you sure it was 1,000 of subscriptions?
Well, it's my category of subscription, so
Okay.
like it's not. In your head, it might
You're
not
paying
be.
like around $22 a month on Netflix.
This is what I categorize under. Okay, so it's like Apple, Google, Netflix, ESPN Plus, Patreon, ExpressVPN, Netflix, PlayStation, Google. I mean, it's 3 months.
It's crazy because I don't really use, other than the YouTube TV, I don't really use. Maybe also a Sunday tickets in there, YouTube NFL package. That
Maybe.
was like,
You know what's crazy is like nothing here is coming up as a lot. Like it's a lot of like, you just got your Google thing that's $72 a month.
Right.
Oh, Amazon Prime $151.
all right, that's like the yearly.
That's the year. That's probably what it is. That's the big one. But even when you take that out, it's still like $700 or whatever. It's just a lot of like $12, $13, $3, $4, $5.
Is there anything just from the short analysis you guys have done that you could give me advice on cutting back other than parking?
Bro, we don't. I'm not even a. I don't. What I'm a model. Like, what do you want to know?
No, but just looking at it, I think cut back on the candy. Okay, the candy.
No, I want him to eat more candy.
No, I think. Obviously, like.
I want them to eat more candy.
Yeah, I think it makes him happy. I would say use those points. I think the gym membership's great.
Gas was a lot, $700.
Oh, yeah.
But it's because
just
you're driving, and I think but you know that, you know that if you took the public transportation, it'd be a lot cheaper. But that's a choice you're making.
I just don't think that you're not that bad about your finance. You are very responsible, I would say, and you're owed all these things. There's nothing crazy in here. Yeah.
I honestly, other than parking, I thought it was like pretty for someone at your level, like financially and successfully. Like I'm just like, it's totally fine. I think parking was just like funny because you just think about, oh, I could have bought a laptop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
seriously.
when you think of it like that, it's like a little annoying. But everything else is like, food. You obviously order a lot online, but like, hey, man,
kind of boring.
that's okay. That's okay.
Kind of a boring credit card statement.
Everyone's is kind of similar.
Parking was so exciting.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't
Parking
think it was
and candy was an AI. Oh, PC Richards, $450. Who the fuck goes to PC Richards anymore?
Can you tell me the date of that one?
7/17.
That's like the New York Best Buy for people who don't know.
What the fuck did I buy at PC?
Did you buy like a laundry
Richards
machine or
and
something?
Son?
July.
$450.
It might have been online.
Oh, you know what? I know what I bought. And the date is important for it. What was it, July? I bought an air conditioner for my study.
How $500.
because it was fucking terrible in New York in July. It usually is.
You didn't have an AC before?
Not in my study.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
good
I had
for you,
some in other rooms, but
Wow.
Yeah. We got those units.
No,
All
I
right.
think you're doing
Yeah, I
a good
think you're-
job. There's nothing that I would be like.
Nothing wrong with you, man. You're
"Whoa."
great. You're
There's
living
nothing
life.
wrong
just
with you.
get out there, date some. I don't know. If that's my advice. Go date some girls so you have some funny dating bits next
So
time
you
you
can
come back on the
and
podcast.
tell us about your dating habits.
Anyways, all right, Donnie, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
podcast.
you.
yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna make me more nervous than it did. So you guys made me feel so comfortable. So.
You're a cash cutie now.
You're a cash cutie.
Yeah.
Thank
shout
you
out
so
to
much.
Cash Cuties.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Cash-
and shout out to our sound engineer. I never want to say the names. Domagoy Ivaknik.
Ivanchik.
Okay, you know what you say.
Domagoy, not Damagoy.
Domagoy Ivanchik.
Yes.
Video editor Matias Robles and analyst Holly Sandler.
Thank you so much. Please don't forget to follow us on all the socials at Cash Cuties Pod. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the FUMI Abe. That's CHEFUMIABE.
And you can follow me on my Instagram at Baked Goods, BAKEDGUDS, and go on my website, stuffybake.com. Send us some money, guys.
Hell yeah.
How much is the Patreon?
You can do whatever you want. But we have like a 5, 10, 20 tier, but you can also do custom. You can do $1 if you want.
What do you get for the 20?
You just get bonus episodes. Oh, for 20?
Merch?
You get to come to yeah, we said we were going to do like discounts on merch, which we don't have yet. But then we also said like you can come to live events for free. But for any tier, you get like bonus content. So there's like bonus episodes on there that
there's
we do,
like silly videos of us.
Yeah. Check it out. Oh, do you want to plug anything? Is there anything you want our listeners to know?
When is this episode?
Probably 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks. So yeah, it'll be in October. So definitely, I'm looking at the camera. Yeah, come to ComplexCon, November 18th and 19th, Long Beach, California. Cactus Plant Flea Market. Special guest, Little Yachty will be there.
Oh.
Whoa.
Bunch of people like Little Yachty. Cool people, cool brands. I'll be there. You'll probably be there. Maybe Fumi will probably be there.
Yeah.
Not me because I didn't get an invite, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll pay for it. I work hard.
So yeah, November 18th, 19th, Long Beach, ComplexCon, ComplexCon.com. Check it out. Buy a ticket.
Yay, buy some.
Check it out.
Come meet all of us.
Come meet us.
Ask us some money questions when
hell
you're there
yeah.
too. We'll answer them.
Cuties, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. And until then, spend your money wisely.
Or don't. Have fun with that.
Bye.
Bye.